Right, guys, it is Old Man G here back again with a related 100% Manchester United podcast, and we're back. And I'm joined by Sean, from Worldwide Reds Show. I'm also joined by Bits and Bobs. It's your boy Bits and Bobs in the show, in the stream, and we're here to break down what is a massive crisis. Well, a crisis at Manchester United. But remember, if you're new to the channel, remember to like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio, follow us on United X. I've also got these boys' links in the description, so head over to their channels and please click their link, subscribe, show them some love, and get them on. We're all here to support each other, so it is what it is. So, guys, crisis at Manchester. Let's just get stuck into it. Crisis at Manchester United, man. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. United are out the Champions League. United the Champions League, won the Europa League, the Banter Cup with Arsenal, Spurs, and Leicester, and a few others. And the Pogba situation, obviously with his agent, Pogba wants to leave. There's clearly a lot of anger around Ole, his tactics, and what's going on with the players. Now, as I was saying, like factually, from what I can see, from what the reports coming out, Pogba obviously wants to leave the club, according to his agent. Ed Woodward, so far, seems to be backing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, although we've heard that before. And the Glazers aren't going to sell Manchester United anytime soon. So those are the facts out there. So what I want to hear from you guys, and start with Bits and Bobs, man, first, is that we're now in a situation where what? I think a couple of points behind first, actually. I think, 4 points I think it is behind first. We're now in the Europa League. We're obviously still in the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. Going forward, how should Manchester United, how should we move forward as Manchester United going about this? What's the constructive way to go forward for the rest of the season?
I think you have if I was Deadwood, I would basically have a meeting with the board of directors, the Glazers and stuff. And actually, first of all, I'd probably, and then obviously speak with them and say, look, this is what happened. Because, you know, there's rumors that they're not soccer people, as they say that's what soccer is in America. There's rumors that they're not into sports, they're just all about money. You need to say to them, this is what's going to happen because we're no longer in the Champions League. So financially, you are going to be at a loss.
Okay.
And then I think he has to sack Ole, to be honest.
Okay.
Look, I'm not saying, I am saying they should sack Ole because I just think on evidence of what's happened, you know, I said to you, G, you know, when we hit third, he's bought himself the season. You know, he's bought himself next season. Let's see what he can do. On the basis of what's happening around us, G, if you think about it, I said this on Fox United and Manny's Fake Football TV show. I said, look, if Ole's man management has got him into trouble, not just yesterday. In fact, was it yesterday? No, Tuesday. See, this is what they're doing to me.
I'm literally just anyway. Go on. Continue.
So basically, so like, I just think that his man management has got him in trouble. Now, check this out, If against Arsenal he attacked them, they were there to be got at. We beat them. If we attack Chelsea, they're there to be got at. That's 6 points, right? We're top of the league with that. With a game in hand. Okay? And I just think on evident with his game management, in-game management, it's wrong. Now, going by the Champions League, we had 2 games to get 1 point. 2 games. And on both games, he's bottled it with in-game management. And I just think going forward... Sorry, G, go.
No, sorry to interrupt. To be fair, you could argue, like, I agree with you. If I'm honest, let's be real. I think the reason why we didn't go through was because of the Istanbul game. We don't bottle that Istanbul result. It doesn't even really matter what happens at PSG and Leipzig because those are going to be difficult games. Had we actually beaten Istanbul properly like the other teams, we would have been through easy because there's no way Leipzig would have pepped us 6 goals as good as they were. So I agree.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. I agree with
that cost us, as opposed to specifically the Leipzig game. But go on,
But then, no, I hear what you're saying, and I agree with you. It did cost us. However, you still have two games to redeem yourself. And for me, I just think, I think we all know Ollie's not the guy who's going to dominate football for Man United, dominate leagues, win us trophies. We get that. I think we've all accepted that. In fact, let me not speak for everyone. I think myself that I've accepted that he can only do what he can do. And I think he's out of his depth. He's done what he should have done. Personally, for me, you got us to third. I would have walked, personally. Because I think I saw the stat that Ollie's had, is it 10 Champions League games? And he's lost 6 or something like that. You've lost them more than you won in a competition. That is, for a Man United manager, forget who you are. That's a horrifying stat. And I just think going forward, we need to really assess the situation. And now, I'm not going to say get Pochettino or get anyone else. I'm just saying, on the evidence we are showing, are we going to progress? And I don't think no. So I think they need to make a decision. If they're going to back him, I think they came out and said they were going to back him, G.
Yeah. Because
January, we need to make some proper signings.
Well, that's what I was saying. So because from what I can see, because obviously we're in December now, the January transfer window, and there isn't any indication what I can see so far, especially if he goes and beats Manchester City the weekend. Because this is typical United, isn't it? We've got a bad result. Yeah. Would you be surprised if we beat City at the weekend? I wouldn't be.
After that game, after Leipzig, I mean, I don't know now. Personally, my head tells me we're going to get palmed, literally like Pamela Anderson, proper, just like we're going to be like Ryan. Oh, seriously, I'm telling you, I just think I'm worried. I'm really worried for our team now because I can't. Do you know what? I'll conclude on that because I want short to comment as well. After 2 years with this guy, I couldn't tell you if he knows his best team, best 11, and I also couldn't tell you what type of football we play. Because against Leipzig, it told me that the team he played with the back 5 and 2 holding, it was like Bruno, Rashford, and Mason go win us the game, and we'll defend. That's not possible. I don't care. I'm going to say something now. I don't care if people hate this guy, Paul Pogba. I don't care. Your biggest game of your career, okay, for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, your best players on the bench, okay, and our best midfielder at retaining possession, Donny van de Beek, is on the bench. Yeah, I'll leave that at that.
Fair enough. I'll come back to you with some. Shane, what are your thoughts on the question? Like, how do we go from here? What should be done?
Well, I mean, again, thanks for having me, guys.
No worries.
I'm a little in my feelings that I didn't hear. Yeah. So what? It's bits and bobs. He broke his little routine today, so we're going to have that before he leaves.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm going to say this, fam. I just we know the main issues at our club are that we have an ownership group that runs the team as a business, not as a sports franchise to win. We know they're not going anywhere. Why would they sell? It would be stupid of them to sell from a business perspective when they don't have to care. They can live halfway around the world and just collect a check when they want to. It'd be dumb to get rid of it. And Ed Woodward's not going anywhere. So the only thing we can do to really win, consistently and be back to who we used to be under this ownership group would be eventually we have to have some manager who pushes the board in a way to get a DOF. If we got a proper director of football and a proper world-class coach, then we can win with this team. I would argue with a different world-class coach, even this year, we would be sitting top of the league. That's just my opinion. And so I've had the same opinion about our manager for a while. I didn't make this opinion over the Leipzig game. I've felt this way actually since about the Burnley game last year, because I've seen what I needed to see for a while now, consistent inconsistency. And the only thing we can really affect as the fan base is putting pressure on the board when it comes to the manager. And let's just say this. One, if you think for a second that this current manager, who I'm not going to disrespect him or anything. I mean, I love him as a legend. I love the guy. But let's be honest. The only reason he's still in the job is because of who he is and because of the way a lot of fans feel about him. If it was anybody else, he would have been gone. And back to what Bob's was saying. You know, this guy played 5 at the back, right? And played 2 holding midfielders. First off, how you play 2 DMs with 3 center backs? Like, this ain't even football, bro. And I'm sitting here listening to this guy do interviews. And okay, did he not say at the press conference, we're going there to win? It's not in Manchester United's DNA not to go take it to a team. And this dude lied to your face, and he does it over and over. I'm not even against certain games you sit back, try to hit on the break, because I think that's his best coaching tactic. If he has any really good tactic, it's when he can do that against certain teams. But how in the world can you play RB Leipzig? RB has a coaching philosophy across the whole organization. They press hard and they press high and they press in the midfield. And he's got McPassion and Matic in the game. Like Bob said, you have the most press-resistant midfielder maybe in the league, Donny van de Beek, sitting on the bench. Listen, with Pogba, either you bench him and he's nowhere around the club because you're throwing a fit about his agent doing his job, which is trying to get a player a move who wants one. Not going to go there. But the thing is, it was wrong. The timing was terrible as far as us as fans. Either you bench him and get him away, or you play him. You don't like it was to me. It was weak that he eventually tried to bring Pogba on to save him, and Pogba almost saved him.
I agree.
Because it's always individual players that saves this guy.
Shane, sorry to interrupt, just because of super chat from Armchair Critic. Thank you for super chat, Armchair Critic. I really appreciate it. It says both of our clubs are suffering, dude. I'm gonna get some of your comments, guys. Because a lot of comments coming in. I've just realized I StreamYarded in the wrong video, so I've just been editing as everyone's been speaking as we speak. So major blunder. There we go. But I just updated it. So it's fine. Anyway, both of our clubs are suffering, dude. Let's hope things get better. At least your club still tries till the end, so they're throwing the towel. Hashtag Ollie out. Armchair Critic is a Barcelona fan, so I completely understand what.
Well, the thing is, they can't understand our pain in this respect. The way their club is structured, they can force more issues and change and pressure. The fact is, the problem with their club is it's run by one player. You see what I'm saying? At least theirs is run by one of the, if not the, all-time greatest player, top 5 on everyone's list. So, you know, at the end of the day, for me, I feel like, back to your question, G, I want to make sure I stay on topic.
Go on,
you know, to really, what I would do, where do we go from here? For me, like I said, a DOF is necessary. As much as I think that we need a different manager than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, or AKA I like to call him Tidy Cats sometimes because this guy's 9 lives, you know, man like Tidy Cats. But I'm gonna say this guy, I think he might, because of what I think he should maybe get the whole year, even though I mean top 4 is a stretch, you know. We act like because we are in a good league position that we've been playing well and earned it, when we easily could have lost the last 2 league games like
easily.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And so, you have Liverpool are going to be there at the end. City are coming back into form. You have Chelsea. They bought so many talented players. Even though Lampard is not great, they just have so much going forward. You can see them do well. Spurs have Jose. Jose is going to do what Jose does. It's not guaranteed we're getting top 4. So for me, let's say Poch, let's say Nagelsmann, let's say whoever we want, right? Would it be best to bring them in right now with what all's going on, or would it be best to wait to the end of the season? But for me, if the heavens aligned, we would somehow maybe even win the Europa League with this guy and still move on from him. That way everyone could be happy. That would be what I'd like to see, but will it? I doubt it.
Thanks, man. Thanks, Sean. Well, I'm still fixing things out. Like, I'm just going to get Yassi, who's just joined. Yassi, you've just joined us. So, I'll meet you. Oh, he's meeting himself. Okay, he's gone back to his thing. It has, yes. So, yeah, just to get you up to speed. So, essentially, what the question is to the panel is that, you turn that down in the background, Yassi, if it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah. The question basically was, what should that? Where's that?
You're going to get done with copyright.
Okay.
You're going to get done with copyright. You need to fill that off.
Yeah, it's gonna be deleted. Long story and short of it, like what should be Manchester United's strategy going forward from now? Because obviously we're out of the Champions League, we're in the Europa League. What should basically happen for the rest of the season?
I feel like we're in a situation where I feel like our club is in a very big mess, and I feel like a lot of people don't like Oli, and they think he's not a good enough manager, and I agree. But I also kind of feel like, in the sense of me, and here's why I like to defend Oli a lot, is because like I feel like Oli, the thing that he has to put up with as a manager is kind of ridiculous. So you have Pogba, the guy that we sacked Jose Mourinho for. Like, people forget that. We sacked Jose Mourinho for. We had the same guy that pretty much Ole Gunnar Solskjaer pretty much did everything he possibly can to appease him right before a crucial game, saying that he wants to leave. And then people are like, I was angry. I was frustrated. I was livid. I was so angry. But then after like a couple of days later, I thought about it. I was like, you know what? Pogba's still one of our best players. So all is in the situation is like, for him, it's all about him doing a good job. For him, it's all about getting to the top four. And you look at the top four, you have Tottenham, Liverpool, Chelsea, and Man City. One of those, he has to literally get over one of those. And all four of them have a better squad than we do. So for Oli, not only does he have to manage nonsense, not only does he have to manage, like, the media always put him under pressure saying, is he really good enough every time? Not only does he have to manage that half our families don't like him, not only does he have to manage the fact that, Harry Maguire got arrested this summer, that not only he didn't have Pogba available because he had COVID, not the fact that Mino Raiola came up with this nonsense, and Greenwood with the whole Iceland situation, all that nonsense, and you have players like Martial not in form, and then you have Maguire just completely having a disaster class from RB Leipzig. It gets to a point you're like, there's something fundamentally wrong with this club. There's something like really deep-rooted fundamentally wrong with this club. And I feel like at times, like the weight of the world is on Ollie's shoulder, that he has to actually mold this crap into something. And Ollie is an inexperienced manager. I just feel like at times it doesn't really make sense. You're like, okay, you're gonna make Ole Gunnar Solskjaer trying to make sense of this mess. And yes, I regret it. Sometimes his tactics is not right. Sometimes the fact that he doesn't pick Van der Beek is not right. But we're Manchester United. Our squad from 22 down should be good enough. And the fact of the matter is, we just have a lot of players that aren't good enough. McTominay, it's not good enough. Matic, I mean, he's getting over there. So the fact that that people are crying out that we must play Donny Van de Beek, we just signed him. He just came to this league. He's not like, it's not like he has been here for many years. Oh, because Ole doesn't play Van de Beek, that's something wrong. People have a problem with that. Ole must pay Cavani. Cavani, we literally just signed him. It just shows you that the mess is way above Ole. And for me, and where I'm at is like, I don't want to stress. I'm 27 years old. Like, every time I watch Man United, my heart is racing. I can feel my blood.
Bro, you're a kid. Calm down.
I can feel my. I was
still skinny when I was 27. Calm down.
I can feel my blood boiling. I can feel like my blood pressure going up. And I'm saying, you know what? I'm 27 years old. This is actually harming my health. Man United is harming my health. So going forward, I just feel like as fans, there's a sense of like not having power, and that's frustrating because we can talk, we can yell, we could go on all the streams, but we're not Ed Woodward. We cannot change the manager. We're not in the position to hire the next manager. So at this point, I'm just hoping, praying that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer works out, that somehow, some way, by God's grace, that he becomes this messiah or this miracle worker, and we become Manchester United again. Because I just don't have, because right now that's the point where I'm at. Because I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know what else can I say about this. Because I'm literally saying the same thing I was saying under Mourinho, under Van Gaal, and under Moyes. I'm driving myself crazy. So that's going forward. That's how I'm going to view it. I'm going to try to enjoy every game and try to enjoy every win. And every time we lose or draw, I'd be like, you know what? Only way is up. Try to stay positive. That's at this point, I feel like as United fans, that's the only thing we can do. Because it gets to a point where you talk and you yell and you get angry, and it gets old. It gets old really, really fast, and it gets to a point. It's like, what can I do to solve the problem? And I don't know how to.
That's why. That's why. Partly for me, this was one of the reasons why I was the stream in the first place, was to come just to, as I was saying to the guys before, and I was like, rather than just purely just ranting and trying was to see what are actually practical, workable solutions. I'm going to give my speed in just a bit in a second before we move on. I'm going to quickly go through some quick comments, because a few coming up. Let's just have a quick look. So the first one I think was some of my bro suspect dreamers, a Real Madrid fan, who quite rightfully is bantering me about when I said that Madrid were hopeless, because at the time they were. Because they were losing to Cadiz and they were getting back at bantering by Shakhtar. So I thought it was reasonable to banter them, because why wouldn't you? But obviously United got bantered themselves, so I will take that massive L. Shout out to Suspect, and please head over to his channel. There were just a few ones that sort of Red Armchair Critics. Red Manx TV, sorry your internet couldn't come on, but thank you for tuning in. Really appreciate it. There was one thing, even the Premier League players, scapegoat players, don't spot their tactical ineptness, but there was a comment. I think there's a subject here. Talk about how Maguire, man, if he wasn't English and let's say he was French and he was half the price of Maguire, he would get shot on by everyone in the video call. Prove me wrong, people. Thoughts?
Not by me. I'll tell you why. I would. The thing is, I don't think we're seeing the best of the guy, but the best of the guy is in a back three. That's been proven. Second of all, when it comes to Maguire, I remember when this big goofy clown played at Hull City, and he literally controlled a whole game against us, played like he was Superman. So the thing is, I'm not his biggest fan. I mean, I'm not like calling him like he's Van Dijk or something, but people act like he's the worst center back on the planet only because of his price tag. At the end of the day, he has good qualities and he has bad qualities. And the fact is, one of his bad qualities was found out in Greece over the summer. And here's what happens. It takes you a little while to have that kind of drama in your life and just be like, okay, I'm going to be back from it and whatnot. So it has affected him. And not having a proper center back pairing around has hurt him, because him and Vic are too similar. So the fact is, and here's the thing. It's the same problem with Pogba. Everyone wants to slam Pogba when they forget that this guy for over 3 years, first off, he's never had the same role Bruno Fernandes has had since he came in. This free role everyone's talking about. People wanted Pogba to affect games the way Bruno has, and they forget that Pogba was playing beside Fellaini and freaking Ander Herrera. People forget this, Pogba never had. Bruno's the first world-class player he's got to play with.
Exactly.
And already with all due respect, I know that God.
Let's keep on topic, Sean. But go on, finish your point. Sorry, I'm
saying like we say things like I heard the guy earlier say our manager is inexperienced. First off, you can't be inexperienced to manage Manchester United. Second off, he's been managing as long as Pep. So let's not say the guy's inexperienced. For me, I think when it comes to Maguire, I think that there's a player there, but I think that he's a system player. But I don't see him ever being the dominant force. But I do agree with the sentiment that he gets a pass from some people because he's English. I do believe that. But also, we can't complain about his price tag and not remind ourselves there's an English tax. So
Exactly.
you got to pick and choose.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that, right? But do you know what? This is where I think some of our problem starts. We had the best pairing in football history with Rio and Vidic, right? I get it. Football has changed 100%. I'm always saying that, yeah. My point is this. With Lindelof, yeah, already being there, okay, being a certain type of defender anyway, what was the urgency to go and get Harry Maguire? On what evidence was there to be like, we need to get... Brilliant. What evidence was there to say, we need Harry Maguire? Now, if you go by how we defended this stuff, Harry Maguire had a brilliant World Cup because he played in a free. Now, if you played football, okay, I've played football to professional level. When you play a back three, it's because none of them are good enough to play in a two.
Exactly.
Okay? That's why you play three. Okay, and do you know the funny thing is, when I said that, people in my group chats were laughing at me. Paul Merson says it. It gets viral.
Don't talk about Paul Merson. Paul Merson's a clown. Let's talk about that guy's a clown.
But my point is that look, he's played at high level and he won trophies. Okay, and he watches English football. My point is that when you're sitting down with Ollie, or if Ollie's sitting there with Scott, on what evidence does the way we played say I need Harry Maguire? Because for me, what we needed, okay, was someone to complement Lindelof,
but
with pace and some physical ability. You've basically got similar to Harry Maguire. Okay, is Harry Maguire a better defender than Lindelof? I'd say he's probably better in the air, okay, but he's a centre back. And he's probably a little bit more physical. But physicality, me and you, no one here is going to get pissed off the ball from Harry Maguire. I see skinny strikers.
I think to be fair, and sorry, because just good to move on. And just want to brief points about something to move on, because sorry, just go on the time. The only thing I would say to that is that the reason why we need a centre back was just the fact that most of our centre backs are injury prone. Phil Jones, Baye, Twansibe, etc. So the only centre backs we had that were regularly fit were Smalling and Lindelof
and Duncan Edwards Jr.
And pretty much, so you can't go a 38-5-win season with only 2 fit centre backs. That's obviously ridiculous. So now, as far as the complementation goes, obviously that's not a matter of whether we should got them or not. But to be fair to Ollie, now I will defend him at least in the tears that at the time, to be honest, I can't remember really any world-class, solid, top-tier centre-backs that were really available, really.
There's not a lot out there.
There weren't a lot out there, and people actually forget that actually Manchester City actually initially bid for Harry Maguire. They wanted, I think, 60 million, I think. It's just that the only reason why they didn't get it was because we decided we'll pay 80 million. But they initially actually paid the 60. So I'm not that I'm saying that the whole combination hasn't worked, but I can understand the circumstance on the club where the reality is we only really had 2 fit centre backs, and they really, when I look back at the time, I can't really think of many off the top of my head centre backs that were decent, that were available to buy. Harry Maguire, who's familiar with the league, Leicester, etc. I can understand why that would be seen as an appealing option.
Okay, ask you this question then. Was Harry Maguire the best centre-back at Leicester at the time? Yes or no?
No.
So why did we buy him?
Here's the thing, though.
Wasn't he pairing up with Johnny Evans, though, who was our centre-back, though?
He was playing in a back three.
But here's the thing, guys. This is where I got to say, we have to delve deep into this. Because my thing is, there's a sense of me that believes, regardless of the fact that Harry Maguire is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's captain, that this is more about the board signing Harry Maguire because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wanted a center back. And they said, because I think, this is what I believe, that they said, this is a center back we can get. Is okay, give me a center back. And they got him Harry Maguire. This is not basically all you're saying. All you're saying, I want Harry Maguire at no matter what cost. All you're saying, I want a center back at whatever cost. I mean, because the thing is here, and here's my logic to that. Because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wanted another center back this summer. So I'm here thinking, if you're spending 80 million on Harry Maguire, why do you need another center back? Because Ole knows that Harry Maguire isn't 80 million worth center back, that he's not that great, that he needs another center back. So, and then also the fact that probably Manchester United probably was working on the Harry Maguire deal prior to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because Mourinho wanted him. So, Mourinho wanted him. So it's like, because the thing is, for me, I mean, I want Harry Maguire to be $80 million worth. I don't like hating on Harry Maguire, but I don't like the fact that people Harry Maguire is one of those players that he has a fan base. People love this guy. Like, he could not do any wrong. And that's my problem with him. Is like, okay, yes, you probably need a center back pairing with Harry Maguire. Say you get a Upamecano, but Harry Maguire will still be a problem. Then eventually, in my opinion, we probably need to get a center back that's even better than Harry Maguire. Then it gets to that point, is like, okay, what was even point in spending 80 million on Harry Maguire in the first place? So it just gets to that point. It's like, this club is run like absolutely crap.
Right. I'm gonna park this and move on, because we've still got a few bits to talk about. So just moving concern, Rich of Sports says need a sport pairing than Lindelof. Dougie's watching on Twitch says should get Marvin Andrews, should get Danny Williams, should get Grant Holt. Thank you very much for that. We'll try. Armchair does put in, says Allegri would be good for Manchester United. That's actually not. That's, people have the
not for me.
Defensive manager.
IMAX says, "Hey guys, blessings and shout out to IMAX Football as well, and Kobe as well. Shout out to you guys." Right, let's quickly move on because we can for a day. We've kind of touched on it briefly, but what's with Pogba? I don't want to really tread on. And thanks everyone for liking. Remember to like the vid, like and share the vid. Really appreciate it. What I want to really talk about, not so much about Pogba's a pest or Pogba's that. It's clear to me that Pogba wants to leave the club. Let's just park that. So what I really want to talk about more is, like, he's going into obviously his final year of his contract. Like, so what I really want to hear from you guys is, like, how much do we sell Pogba for? Okay. And who should basically come in to replace him? Who do you think would be the best replacement for Pogba coming into this team based on the money that we have and potentially the money that would go? So that's the two questions. How much should we sell Pogba for? And then based on that, what player do you think can come into this Manchester United side and try and complement or fix the problem? So, sure, man, what are your thoughts on that?
For me, I think that if he is, I think that if it wasn't for some of the injuries he's walked through, really for the last 18 months, it would be a different story. I think with Pogba, we are in a conundrum, because for me, you have kind of two options. You either play him and let him put himself in the shop window properly, and really get all that you can out of him while you have him, or you let him rot in the reserves because you're throwing a fit about what his agent said. It has to be one or the other, in my opinion. Now, as far as selling him,
let me sorry to interrupt you. Let me give you a feel as to why I think this has happened, and I don't think it has anything to do with Twitter or fans or anything like that. Because when I read the interview, it said specifically from the periods of February to April, and some people are like, oh, it's because Bruno came. I don't think it has anything to do with that either. What I think happened, based on what's happened to previous players like Evan Rio Ferdinand, is Ed Woodward. What he probably did was he went to enact the contract extension on Pogba's contract without telling him. That's what's probably happened, because obviously he had an option for extension. Well, the club has an option for extension. He renewed it, but he didn't tell Pogba about it. Pogba then finds out. It's obviously betrayal of trust. It should be discussed with him. And much like what happened with Evan and Ferdinand, they felt that, they were taken for granted. It was not nice, and obviously because of that, he was like, "Nah, screw this. I'm not going to." That's what I think actually happened, because a couple of months ago, before that, he was like, yeah, Pogba's ready to come and sign a new contract, make a new deal. And then it was like, why did that change? And I think it's
so. What does that tell you?
What
does that tell you? It tells you that Ed Woodward is a snake. Ed Woodward is a liar. Okay, and it just shows you he's not a football person. Okay, listen, My United fans, we know what Raiola's like. So what he done, there wasn't really a surprise. Maybe just more annoyance at the timing of it. Okay,
timing was
but we need to remember when Jose Mourinho was the manager, none of this stuff was coming out. Okay. I think Raiola has no respect for Ollie. I think Pogba doesn't. This is my opinion, guys. I think Pogba doesn't have respect for Ollie. I think he likes Ollie, and he wants to see Ollie do well. But you know, the way the situation is going with the board, I feel like he's not protecting Pogba and actually allowing him to play higher up the park. He keeps playing him out of position, and we all know one of the worst things in football is being played out of position. I don't care what anyone says.
His whole time of United, that's how it's.
Yes, exactly.
You remember Mourinho in the press conference arguing with the reporters about where Pogba's supposed to play, and he goes, "I know, he's a box-to-box 8." You know, I remember this. It's just been something the whole time, and so I think seeing Bruno, getting that role and getting the love, that would make anyone a little salty. But at the end of the day, for me, 50 million G.
But guys, like, isn't Zlatan Ibrahimovic, wasn't his agent Mino Raiola?
Yes.
Yeah. Zlatan Ibrahimovic was at Manchester United. Zlatan Ibrahimovic has nothing but amazing things to say about Manchester United. My question is here.
But he loved Jose, though. It's a different.
Yeah, he came for Jose. He came for Jose.
He came for Jose.
Let Yasser speak, Joyce. Go on, Yasser. Sorry.
But my thing that annoys me so much about this whole Pogba and Mino Raiola thing is that, okay, yes, I just have a sense that Pogba has no control of Mino Raiola. That's just my opinion. That's just my general opinion. I don't think he has any control of him. I don't think Pogba is a bad person at all. I think he's actually a genuine person, kind-hearted person. But I feel like there's a sense of personality. Zlatan Ibrahimovic has a personality where he tells Mino Raiola what to say or do. Zlatan Ibrahimovic comes out and says, "I'm signing for Man United. I'm signing for LA Galaxy." Yeah. Before even anyone can break through it. That's the personality that Zlatan has. And, you know, you have, like, I mean, you even have the Haaland and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer connection where Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the guy who found Haaland. And Molde, who was Haaland at Molde, no one knew about him, moved to Salzburg. I mean, Ole doesn't get any credit, but whatever. But my problem is this. Pogba, you speak out. You say it. Let it come from you. Let it come from your mouth. You, in that sense, I'll have more respect. Even if he disrespected our club, I'll even have more respect for Pogba. I'll be like, okay, this is how you feel. This is where you stand. I get it. I'm angry and everything, but damn, you're a man about it. The fact that having Mino Raiola be your mouthpiece, I don't like that. That's something I don't like. Come out and say, I want to leave. Up to today, he hasn't even spoken about what Mino Raiola said till today, which I don't understand. It's like, tell people you want to leave. Tell people.
He already has, though.
He said it, and we forced him to say it.
He was promised. Listen, I honestly think he was going to Real Madrid. Honest to God. Real Madrid or Juve, he was going back. I think they knew it was going, and then COVID happened. And it was like, unfortunately, you have to stay here unless they pay that price. And then we got Van de Beek, right? Listen, obviously we wanted Grealish. There was no secret here. But I personally think Ed Woodward has said, look, we're going to lose this guy in a year's time. So let's get this guy now and embed him in. And then when Pogba goes, okay, we've got a replacement, already made a replacement. And I think it's stupid, but it's business. And it just stinks of
So
Ed
what
Woodward.
you're telling me is that we're going to sell Pogba and not, quote-unquote, replace him because we already have the replacement for him. That's crazy to me. Like,
but think about it. Look who we're dealing with. Look. Let's do the logic.
Wow.
Let's do the logic, okay? Let's do the logic. Gee, I won't be long. Yeah. Let's do the logic here, okay? we have Pogba. We misuse him for the duration, right? When we had them, when Jose had them, Jose played them forward behind Zlatan. We saw what he done. Cool story, okay? Now, Ollie gets him, plays him in the wrong position, right? Now, he has 1 year left. Then you trigger it. He never agreed to that. Man United triggered it because they had the option to do that.
That's true.
Before COVID, he had an agreement to leave, okay? Now he can't go. Yet he's still getting all this rubbish in the media.
Well, the only thing I'd say is that when you say agreement to leave, what do you mean? Did Real Madrid actually officially put in the bid?
I think he had an agreement with Man United that he could leave.
But for what? Like he could have an agreement to leave, but like there was no official bid from Real Madrid.
I know, but
for the thing. That's what I'm saying.
You know yourself, yeah. Football players and agents are doing deals all the time. One of the last things to agree for a transfer is the actual fee. Some players already know where they're going next year and stuff, you know. That's how it happens. I mean, we all watched Tottenham's documentary. We saw how deals work, blah, 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 and stuff. My point is that I think he had a verbal agreement with Woodward and co. that he could leave for a price. And then obviously he's been done. He's been shagged, okay? And now he's not being played. And now what's happening, it's like he's got 18 months left of his contract. And it's like, well, we either sell him now.
Yeah.
What Raiola is doing is trying to get his client the best move. That's it. He's doing his job.
We screwed with the whole Pogba situation because
that's why just moving on. So over to Pogba, why I want to end and just go quick. So I want to one move to Henderson. Is that, like I said, as far as I'm concerned, he through his agent, whatever he says, basically said he wants to leave. So rather than focusing on should he go, like who do you think is actually the best person to actually come in and replace Paul Pogba? Or as I think a bit said, like, do you think that because we signed Van de Beek that we even need to replace him? And should the money that we get from Pogba be used on an Upamecano or on a
players to replace Pogba?
Guys,
for me, players to replace him.
Yeah.
Sure, go on.
For me, obviously, I felt that Bruno might have been the initial Pogba replacement.
Okay.
I don't have time to go into why. But then the two guys that Real Madrid have wanted recently are Pogba and Van de Beek, who we have both in our squad. Van de Beek is a box-to-box 8, who I think that will be Pogba's replacement. For me, I think Pogba should be sold. I don't think we'll get the money that we're thinking because there's only a year left, and he's made it public that he wants to go. And so I think this does affect his price tag. So anything over 50 million, I'm snatching your hands off, even though he's worth way more than that. We can't discredit the injuries and the COVID and the drama and the circus. Okay. So, but as far as a replacement, I think we have a few players there. For me, it's more important to get a solid CDM with that money, but we know the Glazers won't reinvest that money. They're going to pocket that. But just say in a perfect world they do, I would want actually the person I always wanted is sitting at Arsenal right now getting thrown out by their joke club. But, we need a solid CDM more than anything. We need somebody who can play the holding role, protect the back well, like a Zakaria. Or for me, my favorite guy is Ndidi. Like, to me, if we could get Ndidi, that's who I would want. But knowing our board, listen to this foolishness. People actually arguing for a Pogba-Dybala swap. I'm thinking, you guys just play FIFA. Have you not watched Dybala for the last few years?
Exactly.
He's probably going to happen when he's playing well. He's not like it was killing. Okay.
They also play in different positions.
But it's probably going to happen, guys. Think about it.
Do you remember when we almost signed this guy, and he said he didn't want to come to Manchester when Pogba, his best friend, was here?
Yeah, exactly.
People are crazy, man. They play too many video games.
Yes. Just before that, then we'll just quickly move on.
Alrighty. For me, this is my wish. If his dream move is Madrid, I would love to have a Casemiro Pogba swap. Casemiro as our defensive midfielder will take us to so many different levels. I love Casemiro, and I feel like in terms of talent-wise, Pogba is way talented to Casemiro. So I feel like Zidane might do it, but
he'd be crazy not to.
But we're probably going to sell him to Juventus.
Yeah, I think Juventus look more to signing him then, because if we're talking about the January transfer window, I think Juventus are more likely to go for it then.
And they have no one I want. I did literally like other than maybe the right winger. What's his name? Chiesa.
I mean, in all hope and hope, I wouldn't mind a Pogba Ronaldo swap. I'll take that. Like if that was ever.
Nah. As much as I love him, look, that ship has sailed.
Ronaldo in the Europa League.
We can't even cross the ball to Cavani. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. Let's just quickly move on. Sorry, guys. I thought this was an important topic because it's just going to come out, and I think as we were talking before we went live, I feel like this was almost inevitable when we decided that Henderson was going to come back and place number 2. It looks like it was stupid, and it looks like Henderson is holding crisis talks to Ollie to say, "I want more game time. I should be number 1." What are your? This is another fixed situation. You know, what do you guys think? I'll give my opinion first, and I'll ask you guys. But it was obviously a bad decision. I think he should have just gone out on loan again in the beginning of the season to a Sheffield or something like that. That's fine. To be honest, maybe that's one of the reasons why Sheffield at the bottom of the table right now. Because they don't have a strong keeper in Dean Henderson. Even what's his name? The guy who was in goal for not Southampton, but not West Ham.
Keeper.
Dean, not Dean Henderson, the other guy who we had at our academy who saved a lot of goals.
Sam Johnston.
Sam Johnston. I was like, so whatever you say about United, we do seem to, for whatever reason, produce very good.
Yeah, Pereira.
Reason. I don't know. I just think that the only way I can see this situation working, because I don't think De Gea is going to be dropped, and with all the wages that he's on, that he's going to have to. Dean Henderson is going to have to go out on loan in January. So I don't know what your thoughts are. Like, how does we solve this situation, or do you think that De Gea has passed it and Henderson should step up?
Mine's just very quick on this, G. Yeah, you keep both of them. Do you know why?
Okay.
Because you never know what's going to happen. Okay, we've seen De Gea get injured. Henson's had to come in. Okay, he can play the cup games, keep him on his toes, and look, the transition is going to happen. We know that. Okay, but we need to remember he actually wants to play for Manchester United. Okay,
he wants to be number 1 though, bits and bobs. The thing.
No, I get it. But right now, right now, De Gea has actually played not bad. So you know, you earn the shirt. If you play well, you get the shirt.
And also Sergio Romero's there, so it's not like we don't have a keeper who's. It's not like our third choice keeper is crap. I'm not saying Sergio is world class, but like he's better than Liverpool's number 2. He's better than Adrian and a lot of number 2s in the league. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just think we keep both of them. Because do you know what? Like, okay, we've already ruined the relationship with Sergio Romero, right?
Yeah.
So if you let Dean go out for the next 6 months or whatever, Lee Grant, do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, no disrespect to Lee Grant, you know, fair play to the guy, you know, he's doing what he's doing, but come on, nah. I think we keep them. I think Henderson will transition at number 1, but you need to remember, this is not Sheffield United. You know, the scrutiny and the telescope on one mistake compared to Sheffield United is a completely different level. You know, it's okay being confident and being ready to play, but as soon as you make that mistake, there's like millions and millions of fans that is going to be at you. So, you know, but that's my intake on that.
Sean, what are your thoughts?
I actually, it's funny, we were talking about this earlier, G. I did a whole video about this at the beginning of the season. I said this was a mistake. You don't keep 2 number 1s like that are both really number 1s. You can have that borderline number 2 trying to push, but Dean Henderson's got his eye on Europe. I'm talking about the European Championships, you know, not Europa League. So he wants game time. And so I agree with Bits and Bobs in that we need a solid backup. I just feel like for the future of the club, they should have either decided that they're going with Dean Henderson, or they should have sent him on loan at the beginning of the year and worked out the like Bob said, we did Sergio dirty. So we should have fixed all of that, not been in this predicament. I called it months ago this was going to happen. because Dean's not going to have it. And here's the thing. We all know that De Gea has been off form for a while since Ronnie blasted the ball past him in the World Cup. He's been struggling. But here's the thing. We know what he's capable of. So all it took was a push and Dean coming in, and we started getting good De Gea back, where he's been playing well. Now you can't drop him, and you're in a mess. Because now you have two goalkeepers on about, I don't know, 600,000 or 700,000 pounds a week between the two of them. And when I'm sitting there angry, I just feel like we're in a mess. So for me, if we could get Dean to do it with a happy face and not be mad, because this is the problem. Now, if you ship him off on loan, he could sit there like, oh, that's how you feel. That's how you feel. Okay. So now we're in a mess. And this goes back to what Yasser said earlier. At the end of the day, it all comes down to whether the manager's good enough or not, which he isn't. It all comes down to we're terribly run because there's no DOF, and we got a banker calling the shots, and he disrespects players. He does this. Even what we said about Pogba, how many players was he probably promised to get that we never got? So, for me, I don't trust this club to make the right decision. But for me, it has to be sorted, or this is going to cause a big problem by the end of the season.
No, I agree. Yasir, what are your quick thoughts on that?
I don't know. I'm in like two thoughts on this. One thing is slowly but surely, I feel like a lot of players slowly are not having respect for like Oli or the club, because at the end of the day, you're playing at Manchester United. Come on, G, like that's a luxury. That's a dream. So you fight for your chance. That's just my opinion. Whether it be Henderson, whether it be Van der Beek, you work hard every single day. So when you get called up, you show up. But then again, this is David De Gea, and then I do have there's a part of me that I have a soft spot for David De Gea, because there's been times in the recent history where David De Gea was our pillar. He was the thing that was keeping us stable. At times he was a fictional character. Like some things he was doing unreal. And then so there's that part. So but at this point, the club has to make a decision, in my opinion. Keep one and sell the other. That's it. And the problem is, the club probably won't make a decision because they look at De Gea as an asset and they look at Dean Henderson as an asset. So as long as they have this asset, then eventually, if they're pushed to it, they're gonna cash in. But for me, for the good of the club, either you move on De Gea, and then let him enjoy his career, or you sell Dean Henderson, and you live with the consequences of that. That's just football. A lot of teams have made hard decisions, such as Chelsea selling De Bruyne and selling Mo Salah and Lukaku, etc. That's a decision you have to make as in football. That's just sometimes fans might not like it, we might not agree with it, but then that's a sense of leadership and well-run club. They have to make certain decisions like that, and I don't see I feel like we shouldn't have to be reaching this point where it's slowly becoming a problem. Should have made a decision already, and that's just where I feel. If Henderson's not happy, then say, okay, Henderson, you're not happy, we're finding a new club for him. If he decides, you know what, I want to play for Man United, and so I'm gonna shut up, work hard, and stay put, then so be it. But then that has to be the ultimatum, because this is Manchester United Football Club. No player should be demanding anything. Players should be desperate to play for us, and that's the thing that I don't get. Dean Henderson knocking on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's door saying he wants to be number one. Like, bro, would that ever happen to Sir Alex Ferguson? Like, I don't get it. So that's where I'm at. Like, club got to make a decision. Either you tell Dean Henderson, here is your plan. Here's the plan we have for you. If he likes it, great. If he doesn't like it, then I'm sorry, man. Move on.
Fair enough. That's fair enough to scuff. We could eat myself. Fair enough. So we're on to concern. Let's just to round things off. I was gonna say on a positive note. So, but I'm not even sure whether talking about January transfers is really positive because of how being in the transfer window. So obviously, because I want to go into the City game to start, but it is December. And usually in terms of December, like you begin to hear the rumblings of January transfers and who we're linked with and what's going on, etc. Because it's going to be January in 2-3 weeks time, so the window will be open from the 31st of December. Now, let's just say hypothetically that like Manchester United are in a decent position going into January. What do you guys think that? Again, I know I'm speaking hypotheticals because we've said that our board and our transfer staff are absolutely a joke. But to be fair to the board, they did sign Bruno Fernandes in January, so they can get something done. They can get at least a signing done. In fact, I'll put it to you guys because we know that the board can at least get one signing. What one signing do you guys think is the most important signing to get into Manchester United come January? And why? And I'll start with Sean again first.
Yeah, for me, I think that we ruined the chance of our best signing by losing our last match. Because for me, my hope was that we would see RB Leipzig fall to Europa, and we could make a nice approach for Upamecano because of his release clause. And if you offered a little, I mean, we know his release clause is something like £36 million. I mean, some of that area. So you offered him 50 mil for someone like that. I think you get him, especially if they drop down. And so that for me, a speedy center back, left-footed center back. Obviously, I was looking at the one guy over in Spain. I think it's Pau Torres, maybe. Yeah. And I've heard some really good things there. You have Badiashile. I don't know. I don't speak French.
In Monaco, yeah.
Yeah, he's a decent player. He's a good shot for a young player. But for me, I just feel like the key to ever truly getting the best of our club, because the engine's always the midfield. The game's won and lost in there. Until listen, guys, I can't keep seeing this double pivot of like Matic and McPassion. Like I don't get it. So for me, I need someone like an Ndidi. Now I know we can't get him in January. I wouldn't see that happening, but we need to fill that type of.
You said we couldn't get an injury, but is there anyone else of that position at Ilk that would be available in January?
Maybe Zakaria, but the thing that makes me nervous about him, G, is that I haven't seen enough about him to not know is he a one-year hype man. You know what I mean? Like we have these players that have that one season. At least with an Ndidi, we've seen how he plays. When he's healthy. But we've seen him play in the Prem, which is an adjustment. We've seen it for a while, and he's just an athletic specimen. So
because I'm thinking of, I mean, I know people might scoff at it, but I'm just in terms of making it more reasonable. So for someone like, for example, Declan Rice, and what I'm not saying that that's. I don't know why I'm not.
Good shout, but he's from Chelsea.
Bits and bobs, don't hate, bro. Don't hate.
Nah, not Declan Rice. I know. I'm only bringing up these names because I'm going about like availability.
Declan Rice is better than what we have in that position.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. And I never even really rated him, but the last few times I've watched him, I'm like, well, he's shown enough better than McPassion. No disrespect to Bobs. I know it's his guy. He's a different guy when he puts that blue shirt on than the
He's my guy when he puts the blue shirt on. Yes. No, do you know what? I think, in January, we historically have only had a few gems. Vidic, Evra, and Bruno, even. I don't remember us doing any particular memorable business.
No, that was a summer signing.
Okay, fine.
No, I think that was in the summer. It was in the summer. Yeah. I just think we need a DM, right? We need a DM. And I think we just need to go and buy someone.
That actually the DM is actually more of a priority in January than a centre back. Is that the general consensus I'm getting from?
If you bought a DM, you don't need Harry. You don't buy Harry Maguire.
But I feel like we need a center back more than we need a DM. Because yeah.
No. Hear me out. Right. Hear me out. If you have a competent DM, right, who can do his job, marshal the place, but you don't buy Harry Maguire. You buy an athletic centre back.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? Do you know what I'm trying to say? So it's like, I'm not saying. I just think that we've bought Harry Maguire because we need a good defender. But I think if we prioritize a DM, you then buy an athletic centre back. So I think we need a DM. And do you know what? Declan Rice has been playing well. He's been holding his own. Yeah. I'm still not like get Declan. You know what I mean? I'm not there yet. Like, we have to get him. I'm with you, Sean. Indeed, I think Ndidi would be a great purchase personally. He's actually good at passing the ball forward. He's actually good at keeping possession, which that's what we actually need in our midfield. So yeah, I think. I mean, look, Leicester aren't going to give it to us, but if we had to get someone, my preference would be Ndidi, man.
That's the key thing I want to stress was that, like, obviously, ideally, I love the situation, but like, it's January. Leicester would probably demand at least somewhere between 80 to 100 million plus. So is it really realistic that the board are going to spend any of that money in January for Ndidi? Probably not. So is there anyone else of a similar ilk, if the DM is the most important position to fill, that could come in? Obviously, we have, I don't know, maybe we have Amad Traore coming from Atalanta. Sure. That is already a sign on the right wing. I haven't seen enough of him yet to see what's happened, but it looks like he might be better than, he's a winger, and he might be better than Daniel James. Not that's particularly difficult. So there is obviously that coming in, but is there anyone that is affordable that United could go for in the January transfer window to sort out this problem?
Kante. Cheeky 20 million bid for Kante.
Isn't Ndidi injured?
Play him in the DM. Kante.
Isn't Ndidi out for like the whole season with a knee injury?
No,
I don't know. Sorry, I don't want them too tough like that.
I think.
No, I just saw him hugging James Vardy the other day.
Oh, I thought he was.
That was last season. He was out.
But here's the thing, guys. I mean, I like Ndidi a lot. I really want Ndidi, but I mean, Ndidi really had bad injuries last couple of years.
Yeah, he according to the papers, like, he had an injury, so he had abductor surgery in September, so he was out for 12 weeks. So basically, he's for 3 months. So he was basically out from September to now, because it's December, so it's been 3 months. So I think he just came back from injury this in December, but he has been out injured from an abductor.
I feel like here's the thing. I feel like it might be a lot easier. Well, it's not easy. Nothing is easy with Man United. Oh my God! But I don't know. I just feel like DMs. There's not a lot of them out there that is top quality. Let's be real. Other than Zakaria, isn't he? Does he play for Gladbach, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's in the Champions League. So why would he go in January if he could go in the summer? So it's like. So it gets to a point where like Declan Rice might be the only DM that's probably available that is gettable, because we can probably pay like 50 million. Will West Ham even accept 50 million for him? Who knows? We're probably gonna rob us and probably want 80 million, because that's what happens with Man United. So for me, I just want a center back. I just want another body of center back, because right now we have Lindelof, Maguire, Bailly, and Tuanzebe. Bailly is always injured. Then we have Lindelof, Bailly, and Tuanzebe. I just feel like we just need another body of center back, because someone is going to get injured. Something's going to happen. Tuanzebe, I don't know what's going on with him. He doesn't seem like it seems like Ali doesn't fancy him. And I just feel like we're relying on Lindelof and Maguire to carry us the whole season. We're going to lose games because of Maguire and Lindelof. So I feel like getting someone else that that can partner Lindelof at times, like a partner Maguire at times, to just get us through the second half of the season. I think that's the thing. That might be the way to go. Maybe take a risk on Paul Torres or the guy in Monaco, because for me, when you talk about DM is so crucial to any team that I feel like it might be a summer signing than a January signing. That we need to take our time to vet for a DM. But we just need another body in the center back. Get someone in loan, try him out for half of the season, and if he turns out to be gold, then sign him. But our club doesn't run like that. We never sign anyone on loan. I don't get it. Since Falcao, I think, was the last player we signed on loan, we don't. Like, let's test drive our center back, see if he's good enough. But a Shield or Torres before we spend crazy money on him. But that's what I would do. I'll try to find a center back, a pacey center back. That's what I was trying to do. Because I feel like DM is just unrealistic to get in January, guys. Unless you're trying to go for Declan Rice. That's just my opinion.
Fair enough. Right. For an hour now. I think that's at least speculative way to end. Thank you guys so much for coming on to the show. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to Sean, Bits and Bobs, and Yasir. Like I said, everyone who's watching and who will be watching, please head over to their channels. Their links are in the description. Click on the next. Subscribe to Worldwide Red Show with Sean. Subscribe to Bits and Bobs with It's Your Boy Bits and Bobs. And shout out to Yasir, fellow Manchester United friend. He's also on Twitter. Follow him there as well. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Peace out and cheers.
All right. Peace, guys.